Here we go.
Good morning, I'm Dr. Mustafa and I'm joined with my colleague Dr. Vic. We are here at the headquarters of BloomingBox, a luxury gifting company. We're absolutely delighted this morning to be meeting up with the founder and business partner, Mr. Tariq Abu Samra. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you for coming. We're quite honored to have you on board and we're very excited for this.
Amazing. So Tariq, tell us a little bit about BloomingBox. What is your business about? What are the products that you offer?
So BloomingBox is a gifting platform that offers a variety of products such as flowers, chocolates, cakes, plants, and many more. And the main vision of the business is to revolutionize the gifting industry and also perhaps the behavior on how people gift. Because we've realized that people have moved away from emotional gifting and more into convenient gifting. And we really want to, kind of hopefully move them away from that and more into emotional gifting, which brings us to our mission, which is to inspire people to build meaningful and longer lasting relationships. Because there's a study conducted by Harvard, which states that to have a happier life, you need to have better relationships and more meaningful relationships. And how do you achieve meaningful relationships? By building relationships that have connection. And how do you build connection? By expressing emotionally. And so we want to take part of every part of gifting.
That's a very interesting background to your organization. But as we know, all organizations start with people. So could you tell us about how you recruit your staff?
Absolutely. So you're absolutely right. You could be an amazing entrepreneur, Vic. You could be extremely smart, but if you don't have the right team, you're unable to build anything. So it's all about the people, really. And we're blessed to have amazing people at this company, which we call family. And typically, to answer your question in a simplified form, when hiring employees, we always look at a few things. Morality is one of them, for someone to be quite ethical and respectful. Committed is definitely a big one. So for someone to ensure that they've got commitment to their role. A skill set is definitely also important. Like if I'm a florist, then I need to know how to put together flowers in a box. And I would also say perhaps one of the most important things we look at is someone that can fit the DNA of the business, right? Because you might have someone who's extremely skilled, very committed, but they don't fit the DNA. And so it doesn't create the sense of belonging. It can create politics and tensions, which we try to avoid. So we kind of look at those when hiring people.
Recruitment can be a lengthy, tedious process where you have to go through interviews, looking at CVs. How does BloomingBox go on with the recruitment strategy and in order to source the right candidate?
So traditionally and typically for us, we post jobs on LinkedIn and we depend on referrals mainly. And then in selective cases with selective positions, we headhunt. Those are the two main channels, I would say.
Right. So once you get the right candidate in, how do you then go ahead with retaining the top performers? Because we know top performers are also sought after, like you headhunt, they're probably being headhunted. So how do you manage to retain them?
So one of our main focuses at BloomingBox is to ensure that the environment here is healthy. Because remember, guys, we spend most of our times in the office. Most of our lives go in this office. And so it needs to be a place where people feel at home. And so one of our main focuses at BloomingBox is to ensure the environment is healthy. And one of our main values is to enjoy the ride. So we want them to really enjoy, because stress is inevitable. And through tough times, stress rises. And we always try to ensure that there's loud music and food available for everyone, and we really enjoy the ride as much as possible. So one aspect is definitely ensuring the environment is healthy, it's respectful, it's honorable. But another is we appreciate and we reward. So I'll give you guys a simple example. We've had a cleaner who joined the company 2.5 years ago. who today leads a production department because of their commitment level, because they've shown potential. So rewarding and appreciating your employees goes a long way.
Yeah. We also heard that you have some creative ways of, when it comes to developing your employees. Can you elaborate a little bit on how you develop and train them?
Sure. So today we've got 7 main departments. And when we first launched the business, both me and my partner Jaya went through a business coaching practice, which is crucial, right? Because a business essentially is like marriage. Initially it starts off very exciting and you're so excited about the logo and launching the business, but then the responsibilities kick in and you can start having different perspectives and different opinions, like any humans. And challenges rise. And so just like a business, you'll be tested. Just like marriage, you'll be tested. And so we got a business coach at the time who brought us together and who got us very much closer and who built a lot of understanding between us, and we kind of reached the middle ground, which is amazing. And so we've recently hired the same business coach to manage those department heads and to also build one-on-one sessions with them to kind of tap on their true potential, but also build synergy among the 7 of them so that they can communicate better, more efficiently, and better towards their team members as well.
And from that coaching, this is so wonderful that you're not just looking after the employees in terms of their performance, you're developing them, you're looking after them through this coaching sessions that they have. What changes have you noticed since introducing this coaching to your staff?
Many changes. Communication has become much better. The thought process is very similar. But a very important thing I would say is now they all have something we call an outward mindset, which is whenever they want to take any decision, they think of the person next to them, which is among them. And that's a very important skill set, or perhaps an attribute to develop as a person, because you need empathy, right? We need to become more kind. And that's something that I've definitely seen develop in them over the course of the program.
I was just wondering, you've covered a lot of human factors in your organization. Do you see any differences between generations, and how do you deal with motivation, specifically among your employees?
Very interesting question. So we've got 4 generations who have worked in this company, from Gen X to millennials to the Gen Zs, which are quite common now. And we've even had our youngest intern who was 10 years old, which is, I believe, Generation Alpha. And you see the difference, Vic, between the 4 generations. And I can tell you this, if you guys remember and recall Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there's the basic food and shelter, and then there's the sense of achievement. I'm going to summarize them up in a simplified form. And then you've got perhaps status on the top of it. Generation X was the generation that their family has survived wars. So to them, they've been given the food and shelter, and they focus on, contributing to the community by ensuring they've got a good, stable job. The millennials, which is my generation, which perhaps has lived the best of both worlds, that and the upcoming one, because we've seen the pre-internet era and the post-internet era. We care about significant changes and having an impact on this world. But the Gen Z is very much about status. And I don't blame them. I think they're definitely a beautiful generation. They've been guided by the internet more than they've been guided by the people around them. And so what happens is, every day on Instagram, or maybe social media particularly, you are reminded that you're not enough. Because we're a generation of happy pictures, but sad people. So, and they've been guided mostly by that. What's right and what's wrong came from the internet. And so it is our job as the older generations to guide them and to contain them and to treat them with love, respect, and show them that they have. Because remember, guys, these guys have seen people that are 16, 17, 18-year-olds generating millions of dollars via YouTube and those social media channels. So to them, the classic case of going through education from school to university, then perhaps third degree, and then a career that they excel at, does not attract them anymore. And so our job is to ensure that they're allowed at this place to express their creative self, but also their impulse or quick impact personality. So they can move among departments, they can test out different things. And and we're blessed to have them, and we're very excited about learning from them and also learning how to manage and retain them.
I was excited. You referenced your answer to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And I was thinking, okay, across the generations, you mentioned you have 4 of them. How do you then deal with top performers? How do you keep them? How do you motivate them further to keep them in your workforce? Because their needs might be very different across different generations.
Sure. So you mean top performers, not just top performers, but among generations, how does it vary? So I think to answer your question in a simplified form, Vic, I came across a book called Ikigai, which is the Japanese way of long living or a happier life, a longer living, happier life. And the term Ikigai itself translates to a reason to wake up in the morning excited. So how do you keep people excited? Because if you keep them excited, you win them. And according to them, it combines 4 things in a job: doing something you love, doing something you're good at, doing something that contributes to this world, and doing something that makes you money. And I believe we're blessed to be in a business that offers all 4. Because, you know, it's such a privilege to work in a business that is all about making people happy or contributes to their happiness. But more importantly, you're always working on something new. You're not stagnant, right? So you're always excited about what you're going to do next. And I believe we compensate them fairly. And more importantly, they become quite skilled at what they do. And so they've all kind of have this, I think no matter the generation, motivating employees is always about tapping on their emotions and reaching out to them. And I think personally, one of my favorite leadership styles is because, you know, there are various and you could choose to be any. And I came across also a book that's called The Multipliers, which talks about demolishers as managers versus multipliers as managers. And one brings out the best, one demolishes and tells them what to do. And I won't lie to you, maybe at one point I was a demolisher, but I'm always trying and inspiring to be more of a multiplier. And so I've kind of focused on becoming more of a coach-based leader, which is where I can connect with my employees, get closer to them, give them my time and train them and give them love and respect and ensure that they're also heard of and they're heard as well. So, you know, that's again the outward mindset. So as long as you give that to your employees, hopefully they'll become committed and they'll fall in love with the place.
Mr. Tariq, you are very academic. You know, you should be doing our job at the same time running your business. When Dr. Mona and I walked up to this place, we noticed a huge proportion of your workforce are Gen Zs. Is that a specific strategy for you?
With the Gen Zs?
With the Gen Zs.
So like I said earlier, we contain them by perhaps understanding them and understanding that today they have options. Unlike before, right? Entrepreneurship as a term wasn't quite popular in the 90s, nor even the early 2000s. I would say it became quite popular in the late 2010, maybe early 2011. So they've got options. And today, we're blessed to be in this era because you're able to launch a business from home. So the question today is, why would they work for you? Right?
That's the question.
And you really need to make it the right environment and give them the right career, perhaps path, for them to be attracted to work for you as a business. And like I said, we've been blessed with the right ones. And although we've had some challenging ones, but like the beauty is within that challenge. And we are learning from them on how to run this business potentially, and maybe even find the right tools to ensure they're in a comfortable and a safe environment.
You mentioned we are learning from them. So obviously them working for BloomingBox, they're excelling in their career, they're learning new skills, they're getting that coaching, which is, by the way, very impressive. I mean, it shows that the attention to detail you have
Yes.
for your employees. But what does BloomingBox learn from this generation?
Oh, a lot of things. So, one is patience, right? Because you need to have patience, right? We need patience. I think we become at a position or a time in life where it's become too fast. But they remind you to ground yourself and be patient, because we've had family and parents who were patient with us, and we kind of need to become patient with them. And so patience is definitely a big one. Another one is most recent trends and technologies. They're up to date with it. Yeah. They're all over social media. They have access to all those amazing tools, and we learned that from them. You know, just think of it this way. It's like I have, my youngest sibling is 10 years old, turning 11, and she's up to date, and I learn a lot from her. So it's kind of the same thing, really. It's like, they really are out there. They've become the ears to the world, and we need to learn from them.
Tariq, I want to move a little bit now to the dream for people to become entrepreneurs. It's obviously very attractive. You become your own boss, you can choose your own timetable and so on. You can go on holiday whenever you want. But how do you, as an entrepreneur, manage that work-life balance? Are you able to switch off when you go on holidays, for example, and just have a break from everything?
That's a very interesting question. And it's a very interesting topic to talk about, especially for students who aspire to become entrepreneurs, or even individuals who aspire to become entrepreneurs. You know, media has a thing of glorifying the success behind every company. And mainly you tap on that, you see that only. But the truth is, and don't get me wrong, I love being a so-called entrepreneur. I love owning my business. I've always had this in my mind since I was a kid. So it's always been something I've wanted to pursue. At the same time, we have to call a spade a spade. It comes with a lot of challenges, like everything else in life, because, you know, the best example to give is for a mother to give birth to a beautiful child, she goes through hell throughout the journey, right? Yeah. And so it's the same thing for businesses. It's a lonely road, and there is no work-life balance. And we're perfectly fine with it. As business owners, we understand the compromise that needs to happen, and we're perfectly happy and okay with it. And so, but to say the truth, I don't see a work-life balance. I think you learn how to allocate time for family and friends and enjoying life in various forms, but this becomes your joy, this becomes your happy place. And to also add to that, it gets pretty tough at certain times. And do you go on holidays? Of course you can take holidays whenever you want, but the question is, do you take holidays ever? You can take a plane and fly out, but do you really disconnect is the question. And I think that the fair answer to this question is that you don't want to switch off. You can still enjoy. I can, you know, go to Maldives and enjoy my time on the beach, but I'd still be thinking of how can I convert a product that has sand from the Maldives and maybe water or inspired by the colors of Maldives to maybe allow people to travel to Maldives without actually traveling to Maldives. It's like you're always thinking of ways to incorporate wherever you are with your business. And so, yes, entrepreneurs don't switch off thinking about the business, but you learn how to find joy in everything you do.
Yeah.
I notice your employees are very happy. How would you describe your own leadership style?
So, like I said earlier, I think I aspire to be a coach-based leader who connects closely with my employees, where I'm able to allocate my time to them, have an outward mindset where I'm able to also put myself in their shoes and ensure that they've got a career path engraved for them, right? So as long as you really connect and you allocate the time and you kind of focus on ensuring that you are not just someone guiding, but also someone who works with them, and lead by example is a big one for us as part of our values, right? You want your employees to come and work on Saturdays, you got to come and work on Saturdays. So always lead by example, because it's only fair, right? So I guess in a nutshell, that's how I would describe my leadership style.
And so in terms of that, it's likely that you have supervisors working under you. And could you tell us a bit more about the different departments that you have and how these link together?
We've got 7 departments that all work closely, from product that develops the products and comes up with all those beautiful arrangements, to tech, who develops and builds your website, who offers a chance for customers to perhaps experience a user-friendly experience, to then customer service, who either sells or manages the post-sale service beautifully, to maybe operations, who ensure that those orders are delivered seamlessly and without any challenges and in the best way possible, to, of course, marketing, who promotes everything we do. And of course, without marketing, we're unable to tell people who we are and what we do. And to finance, who runs the books and does the forecast, along with accounting, who also manages the books and ensures that the P&Ls are solid. That helped us become a profitable business today. And lastly is the inventory management, who is also managed by a separate team, to ensure that, because at one point you're dealing with 30, 40 suppliers daily, you're getting 30 shipments every day. How do you manage that inventory? And so that also is quite significant for us as a business.
Yeah. So I would like to move now, a little bit to the outside environment of business setup in the UAE. We've heard that it's quite easy and straightforward to set up businesses here, and of course there's many initiatives being adopted by government here in the UAE. How was your experience?
Absolutely, you're absolutely right.
Business here?
Absolutely right. We're blessed to be in this country. I mean, I'm a Dubaian. I was born and raised here, and I'm very proud of that. And if you just take a look at, because I've had several businesses in the past, and every one of them has been very smooth to launch. And now, with the initiatives of startup supporting programs by both government and semi-government institutes, we've witnessed a very structured and easy flow for those startup companies. I'll give you an example. Like, there's a rise of incubators now, like N5, to kind of contain and host those startups to help them kickstart. And then you've got funding programs by a lot of semi-governmental or even governmental programs to allow access to funding for startups that have amazing ideas but don't have the funding for it, right? That's also a common challenge among entrepreneurships. And now you even have a DED license that allows you to start your business from home. It costs close to nothing compared to a regular license, and you can launch it from your Emirates ID online in an hour and just start your business. It allows you the portal to kind of test out the waters for 6 months, and then if it does succeed, move it to a official business. So we're blessed to be in this country.
Yeah.
Quite the right place.
So in addition to the environment, so we know that the UAE is home to so many diverse cultures, and that must be quite challenging to meet the demands of your customers. They all speak different languages, dialects, maybe they have different preferences. How do you manage to overcome these challenges?
Very interesting question. You're absolutely right. It is said that there's over 140 nationalities in this country. And how do you communicate to all of them? Well, I guess there's one language that's common among all, which is love and emotions. And so everyone has an emotion to express, whether it's love, whether it's an apology, whether it's a respect, whether it's a farewell or a good luck. I think what unites us is expressing emotions. And even our slogan is, when you can't find the words, say it with BloomingBox. Because we want to be that portal that allows people to express their emotions. And I believe that is one language that unifies everyone. But to answer your question perhaps more thoroughly, it's the product team does a lot of perhaps surveys or effort on understanding the consumer behavior and their requirements. And we try to customize as much as possible to cater to most, if not all, demands or requirements. So I think we've done an okay to good job so far, but I think you'll see more of us tapping on more personalized or more cultural occasions very soon.
So in terms of the staff who are dealing straight with the customers, are there any challenges in terms of communication, understanding each other?
So one initiative that we take pride of in our customer service team is we're very much on ensuring that every customer that calls, although we haven't achieved it 100% yet, but we try to, feels like they're at home. So we've got, for example, we have local speaking customer service agents who can speak the local dialect, and that's very important because most of our customers are locals. We also have various English speaking dialects, and we've also got different countries that cater to different requirements and different languages. And the focus and the element here is to stand out by ensuring that every customer has an experience where they feel connected to the agent. You know, we want them to feel like they're in comfortable hands.
That's amazing. Great.
Let's move on a little bit towards your operations and how you integrate technology into this field. Everyone is talking about AI now, everyone is talking about automation.
Absolutely.
How do you do it, and how do you intend to do it in the future?
So we have a very talented tech team behind our tech operational side. You're absolutely right. AI is taking over as we see. We do incorporate AI in some of in our day-to-day tasks, but we haven't yet incorporated AI to the level of its potential. And we have a CTO right now, which is working closely with us on ensuring that we do integrate automation and also augmented reality into everything we tap on in terms of flow, logistics, creativity, and so on and so forth.
That's very interesting. But then a thought just occurred to me that during the COVID, a lot must have happened to your business. Could you take us back a little bit, couple of years back, how COVID, automation, and that sort of thing happened in your organization? How did you deal with those circumstances?
So COVID was actually an amazing experience for us because we witnessed close to 140% growth of the business right after COVID. So when I say right after COVID, it's the moment COVID was announced. A month after COVID, we witnessed the rise of e-commerce throughout the world. Reason being is because as an e-commerce company, we were still allowed to operate because we had chocolates and treats, and those were part of the elements that were allowed, or the products that were allowed to be traded at the time. And classic retail customers had to stay back at home. But they still wanted to gift, and they wanted to show empathy and support to people around them. And they were kind of forced to go online. And that's when they realized that, there are companies online that are far more convenient, cheaper, offering a healthy service. And automatically post-COVID, they became regular customers because they realized that it makes sense. So we managed to convert a lot of retail customers to online customers, not only us, most, if not all, e-commerce companies. So it was such an amazing experience for us.
Do you feel the need, though, to have some shops physically in the future, or you think online is sufficient for now?
As of now, it's an online-centric business. So the focus and the thought is always online because we want to ensure that the experience is seamless. But they say never say never, and we have explored the retail option at one point, but then we felt like maybe it's not the right time for it. Hopefully in the near future, we might.
Yeah, great.
Just talk about the future. And in one of the courses we teach in every business program is leadership. So as a leader, what do you think you're gonna do in the next 5-10 years? Are you thinking of expanding to Europe, the rest of Asia, Africa? Where else are you gonna go with your business?
Absolutely. So we want to take over the world. But to answer your question, maybe shorter, or maybe give you a more thorough answer, we're definitely gonna expand geographically. That's on the plans. Along with a product expansion, because we want to elevate gifting. Gifting has been there since 300 years before Christ, especially flowers. And so we want to elevate gifting. And when I say elevate, it's like, how do we revolutionize the gifting experience? Offer perhaps a product that taps on your 5 senses. So we want to elevate gifting and take it to a different level and change the behavior slightly. But more importantly, as a business, I believe, we want to ensure that we're always part of the tech growth. So we want to automate this entire facility and this entire production flow into an automated experience, so more like a factory mindset. Because if you want to scale the business to the world, you have to automate, right? And you have to, for example, this takes us about 23 minutes to produce A to Z. But how do we bring this down to 5 minutes? And how do we make it more accessible to the customer? So I believe it's those three areas, so geographical, product, and technology.
Talking about expansion, I know that you're expanding as we speak, Tariq. And
Locally, yes.
Locally, I see you're expanding into some new premises as well. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, so we just launched in Abu Dhabi. We're very excited about that. So it's been a couple of months and that's doing very well. But I think the more fresh news is that we just took the warehouse next door, which is the exact same size as this, which we're going to be bringing down the walls and hopefully extend the size of these operations and cater to more or to a more number of orders.
That's amazing.
Let me show you around.
Oh, we'd love to.
Yeah?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Done.
Thank you very much, Tariq.
Thank you. So welcome to our facility. Let me take you through a very quick tour on our operational flow.
Great.
Be ready to be very cold.
Yeah. Actually, I would love to be.
We store the flowers. They have two different temperatures, so
It smells so nice in here.
this is a part of it.
Right,
13 degrees.
13 degrees.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice and cool.
And it needs to be humid
Yeah.
for flowers, unlike cakes where humidity is not good for them. So that's why they're split.
This would be my first place now.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where we store the flowers raw. So they're just kept here with their food, which is water, and some flower food. They're kept over here to prolong or to increase their longevity, to live longer. And then they're obviously taken out for production. And I'll show you where the magic happens, basically. Right? So this is where we start the production of the flowers.
So this is like the arrangement.
Correct. That's where we arrange all the flowers and how we do it. So the base is built first and then the flowers are put last.
So they have a lot of skills and talents in arranging.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now let me show you how products look like upon they're being done. So we've got some of the products that are due to be dispatched in the next 20 minutes. So this is from our Father's Day collection, for instance, which is around cigar, that we call them, along with the hampers, where we combine two brands. So from, for example, Rituals and BloomingBox combined together, sent to the customer to add value. And then you've got...
These are the delivery times.
Correct, by slot. So they're obviously all positioned here by slot, and this is currently positioned or assembled for QC. So the QC comes in, does the check, makes sure that the flower count is correct, the quality, the positioning, the shape, and everything is correct. And that's when they move into dispatch. And so basically, that's our dispatch area, where products get dispatched after QC. Another warehouse that we have, where we store our main inventory, and also that's where we get the balloons and the treat boxes and the cakes prepared, because you cannot mix flowers with food, so that's a separate facility. Here, let me show you, but we gotta wear hairnets to get into that room.
Health and safety.
Health and safety.
Great. Let's see. So now we're going into the...
Now we're going into the cake room, cake and the treats room. So it's actually 6.4 degrees now.
Oh, it's 6.4.
So
It's like
Nice and
Manchester.
cool.
these are where the cakes are primarily stored, along with the treats and the cakes and everything else. So like if you take a look here, you'll see the Tariq cupcakes pre-preparation. So that's where they're raw stored. And then, so we store everything here in raw form before it moving out to dispatch. That's the last step of dispatch, the cakes.
Can you see the...
It is. So now let me show you the offices. Starters, that's where marketing sits. All the creative branding that you see is the team behind it. So that's the product development team. They're behind all the products. So let me just give you a glimpse on our summer collection, which is not even yet live.
I love the orange color.
So this is one of our summer collection colors, which combines a towel,
Wow.
a water bottle, a treat
that.
box, a flower box, and a paddle or a tennis bat. And then we've got the blue as well, which I think is somewhere there.
So is this for a special occasion?
Summer collection.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So you'll see a lot of prototypes, a lot of products we try to develop basketballs at one point.
Oh, okay.
So we've
These were all developed by your team.
yes, that's the product development team. So Eliana is a designer, Mariam heads the product. We've got an intern who's on leave, and we've got also the partnerships manager on leave. But typically that's with the product team. And then we've got our customer service team.
So how many dialects do you guys speak a month then?
Not less than 15, I would say.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah,
Big.
Abdullah speaks several dialects, Manar as well, Nihad, Krishna, we've got
So you
amazing
you adapt to the customer, I guess. You
adaptive language, as we call it.
great, great. That's a good skill to have.
Yes.
Great, great. No, I think we definitely enjoyed the tour. It's, we don't really get to understand and see business setups here in the UAE like local entrepreneurs. We always hear about the, in European countries or the US, but to actually get this experience from local business setups is very nice. So thank you very much for that.
Thank
We
you.
really enjoyed it.
Thank you for the privilege.
Yeah.
My pleasure. Thank you guys for coming.
Definitely enjoyed every part of it.
I'm very happy. Best of luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you very
Bye,
much.
doctor.
Thank you.